This is a compilation of our latest fat videos. Tess Holliday posted a video saying people are jealous of her. Yes, jealous of being obese. Let's break it down.
Plus size folks really stay rent-free in some of your brains. And it is so funny. It's hilarious because in the 15 years that I have been fat and online.
Wait, you have been fat for only 15 years, or you mean both? Fat and online. But you were never this big. We were at least able to see your face. Now it's all covered in fat. With the way this is going, I honestly don't even want to imagine what the next 15 years will look like.
You're my partner. 15 years. My partner.
In the 15 years that I have been fat and online, the one consistent thing that I see is people shitting all over us for just existing.
Existing? I'll let the comments decide if this video counts as just existing. I think this is a rhetorical trick because it frames any and all criticism as an unprovoked attack on your very being. It's not a conversation. If we disagree with you, we deny your right to exist.
Shitting all over us for just existing. For just existing. If you guys really hate plus size people as much as you say you do, then leave us alone. Let us exist. Shouldn't bother you.
I wonder if you hear the words before posting. I think this sentence did not turn out as you planned. What do you mean if you hate someone so much it should not bother you? The excess fat is inflaming your brain. Anyhow, what you wanted to say is, what I do doesn't affect you, so look away. But that is objectively false. It does affect us. We live in a society. It absolutely bothers me when I'm asked to emotionally celebrate a preventable health crisis.
Shouldn't bother you that we sell out of your merch and show up looking better than most.
Wait, who's this mysterious we you keep mentioning? Who do you refer to when you say we? Do you mean obese people as a group? So you are categorizing the world into fat versus thin? What's the cutoff here? BMI 30? How do I become one of you? And seriously, looking better than most, isn't this delusion? If the beauty standard is a melted ice cream cone, sure.
Looking better than most. And we're still fat. Shouldn't bother you. Shouldn't bother you that we never have an issue landing a date, getting a boo. Shouldn't matter. If fat people weren't in your orbit and in your brain as much as you deny that they are, it shouldn't bother you that we go to gyms and work out and take care of ourselves and do the things and are in the spaces that you are. Shouldn't matter. But it does matter. It does. And you know why? Because you're jealous of us.
I suppose by us you mean obese people, or just fat people in general. But let's take you as an example so I don't make a mistake. What is there that you have and I don't? Fame? Sure, but that's not something I aspire to. On the contrary. Health? Pretty sure I win this one. Happiness? Well, I am satisfied with my life, but I don't think you are. Looks? I am not a woman, so the comparison is difficult, but you did have a pretty face long ago. Now you're all bloated. Money? I don't think now you have much either. We can see by the popularity you get now versus then, and by the services you now offer since you don't get more modeling gigs, so jealous. Jealous of what, exactly? Or we can view this even from different lenses. Jealous of the diabetes and heart disease. Jealous of the mobility issues. What part of this is the desirable part I'm missing? Or, as one of our commenters said, you know what, Tess? I absolutely am jealous of you, because if I let myself, I would eat to the point where I couldn't see my feet anymore. So have a box of Krispy Kremes and think of me. I'm also hungry. I blurred the name just in case. I really love your comments. Thank you all.
It does matter. It does. And you know why? Because you're jealous of us. That is literally all it is. You're jealous that we are able to be happy and exist in our big fat bodies.
You see how she said able to be happy, not are happy?
You're jealous that we are able to be happy.
Because subconsciously even, your mind cannot accept this lie. And jealous that you exist, I also exist. So how is your fat body better than my relatively fit body? What advantages do you have?
You're jealous that we are able to be happy and exist in our big fat bodies, and that threatens everything that you have ever been told about the patriarchy. And for everyone that's always asking my lip combo,
Nothing says health activism like selling lip gloss on Amazon while glamorizing obesity. I guess everything is content, right?
my lip combo, it's Whenever Walnut, this Makeup Forever gloss. And this is in the color
I think Tess knows her time has passed. She's not on covers anymore, not on every talk show, so she leans into rage bait. She knows saying people are jealous is insane. It's the same as when she claimed she was anorexic. It's attention seeking. Anyhow, we can see in her eyes that she is really angry. Angry she's no longer relevant, angry that she realized she was only used for a toxic campaign. She is bitter, angry, very angry. I just cannot understand at whom. At all people? At the companies that dropped her? Maybe angry at herself, but definitely bitter. What do you think?
They hate the fact that we eat whatever we want, and they really hate that.
It's fine if you're unhealthy.
Oh my god, you're so fat, you're so big.
We need to turn out this way.
Before you think I'm the problem.
Is there anything more healing?
I find it actually comical.
This is why I eat in a day as a beautiful plus size bitch.
This is gonna make me sound like a bitch, but is there anything more healing than seeing the people who fat shamed you in high school become fat themselves? Karma's a bitch.
But by your logic that fat is good, they will be happier and have better life. So you wish them well.
Yeah, it was my mom. My mom has been skinny her entire life, but recently in the last 4 years she has gained a lot of weight. I personally don't care if people gain weight, but she was my first fat-shaming bully, so she gets what she deserves.
Me too. My mom was my first bully. She's gained a lot of weight recently after being naturally skinny her whole life. Guess it's not just about eating a little less like she told me.
My mother. Moms usually ate the first bully. They were mine.
Both of my parents.
We need to turn out this way. Oh, stop it!
I just know she needed help getting up off that knee. You know there are areas of the body that they can't clean. Scissoring has to be hard. Is this the start of a Subaru commercial? Imagine the smells. Well, at least they're both pregnant.
That bridge is an engineering marvel. I commend the people who built that bridge.
My seatbelt, and bam, the seatbelt clicked. And before you think I'm the problem, or just too damn fat for this car, the seatbelt locked on my smaller wife too.
Rob, your small wife is big enough to be a strong man, so I don't know what you're on about. But yes, car's a problem.
You don't need the seatbelt, you were built to tank accidents.
Let's talk about something that may be controversial. When most people think of whey protein, they imagine a quick, convenient way to build muscle or recover after workouts. But what's rarely discussed is that protein powders and shakes are an ultra-processed food. It's the watery part left over when cheese is made. Traditionally, this was considered a waste product. Whey itself comes from milk. It's the liquid byproduct when making cheese, but by the time it's filtered, dried, flavored, sweetened, and packed into shiny tubs, it's far removed from its natural form. Our gut microbiome, which thrives on whole foods, fibers, and diversity, doesn't always recognize or benefit from these highly refined powders. A sterile scoop of protein powder doesn't provide that ecosystem much to work with, which is why some people notice bloating, discomfort, or just feel like something's off. Over time, relying on them as a staple can actually create imbalances rather than support health.
It's fine if you're fat. If you're like, oh no, it's not fine to be fat. Being fat's unhealthy. It's fine if you're unhealthy. If you're unhealthy, you still deserve love and respect and to have a happy life as much as you can.
Okay, but that has nothing to do with fat being fine. Fat is not fine. Excess fat is bad.
Also, being fat doesn't mean you're unhealthy.
Does not mean, but it's very likely.
Health is complex. Who gives a shit? That's the thing. If you're like, oh, you're so fat. I get comments all the time. You're so fat, you're gonna die. You're so fat. Yeah, I'm gonna die. So are you.
So is the universe at some point.
Like, none of it matters. Have relationships with people outside of the internet. Do things that you enjoy. Fucking dance, garden, eat a goddamn piece of cake. Who gives a shit if you're fat?
You should give a shit about your health, of course.
Do you actually want to fucking waste your entire life wishing that you could be thin? It's pointless. It is a waste of a life. Your life is worth so much more than that.
Well, I think overeating is waste of life. There is so much more to life than food.
My body is just the wrapping paper. It's the inside that counts.
Playlist.
This is why I eat in a day as a beautiful plus-size bitch. If you don't want to see a confident fat woman in her own skin, keep fucking scrolling. We don't want or need you here, bitch. For dinner, we have pizza. I'm gonna eat the rest of this half pizza. That's what you guys think. For dinner, I have 2 pieces of pizza, 2 breadsticks.
Bread with bread. Nice.
Any fiber?
Back to the whey protein conversation. Another thing worth noting is the hidden ingredients and marketing tricks. It's a fact that behind the labels, most protein powders are filled with hidden extras, stabilizers, gums, artificial sweeteners, or cheap fillers that bulk up the scoop without you realizing it. Even regulations aren't always reassuring. In Europe, the standards for testing are often stricter than in the US, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're safe from misleading marketing. Companies are smart. They know which buzzwords sell, and they know most people won't read the fine print.
Oh my God, you're so fat. You're so big. You're obese. Do you know how big you are? I have eyes. I can see. I know what I look like. What?
You have eyes but not accountability. Eyes but not brain.
I doubt that one person has ever said that to your face. You just perceive that people are saying that, when in actual fact, you're the only one that looks at you.
Yeah, but you have a big heart. That's what matters. Don't worry, it's the inside that counts.
Compared to what? A deceased person. This is my second comment. She ain't the first one. Put her on gym. It's like buying Bitcoin in 2010. Your doctor or marine biologist. Maybe she grabbed the doctor in her fist. She eats whale fish as a complimentary dish. He said heavy, not healthy. We need excavations team to find her knee. As a farmer, yes, you are healthy. When your doctor is Dr. Pepper, we need...
Did he mention your thighs are eating your knees?
I find it actually comical that there's still legitimately people out there who think that fat girls are ugly and shouldn't wear bikinis. So sorry to disappoint.
OMG, your freckles are totally freckling and I'm so jealous.
That's because people who never had a weight issue truly don't understand.
I'm one of them. Only because if you were mine, I'd want to keep all that body to myself.
Again, back to protein. You can make the protein shake much healthier by rethinking how you use it. Instead of just mixing powder with water, try blending it with fiber-rich fruits, leafy greens, nuts, or seeds. The fats and fibers help slow absorption, balance blood sugar, and support your gut bacteria. Occasional shakes, especially when you're on the go, aren't harmful, but they shouldn't replace real food. Think of whey protein as a supplement, not a meal in itself. And when you combine it with whole ingredients, it becomes less of a chemical product and more of a nutritious smoothie that your body actually recognizes. I'm not at all against protein shakes. They can be beneficial in many cases. I drink not more than a few shakes a week, only after hard workouts. We're going to be talking about a video that popped up in my feed that really highlights the fat acceptance mindset. So we're going to watch this video together, stop at certain points, and break down why this way of thinking is wrong. Let's start.
These are some things I'm not allowed to do because I'm fat. When you're fat, there's honestly just a long ass things that literally feel illegal for you to do. For some reason, when you're fat, you're not allowed to say that a man was like hitting on you or like has a crush on you or something, because people will literally be like, are you sure? People will literally not believe that someone could be attracted to you, and it's kind of absurd, actually.
You're saying it's absurd that people doubt men are attracted to you, yet attraction is not guaranteed and it's not owed to anyone. People are allowed to have preferences. Attraction is subjective, yes, and people are attracted to differently, but attraction is also influenced by health, lifestyle, and cultural standards. Let's not ignore the fact that for most, attraction isn't just about personality, it's about physicality too. Of course, there are men who are into bigger women, that's obvious, but it's not some massive conspiracy that most men aren't. That's just reality. What frustrates me is how fat acceptance turns this into society hates fat people, instead of admitting that health, appearance, and lifestyle matter to most people when they pick a partner. It's just human nature.
This was mostly an issue for me in like high school. I would be like, no, I think this guy likes me, like he did this, this, and this. My high school like friends would be like, are you sure? Like maybe he just didn't mean it like that. Because to them, the thought of someone liking you is like impossible and kind of funny. Another thing that feels actually illegal to do when you're fat is to love your body for the way that it is now, without people saying that you're promoting obesity.
Here's the problem I have with this statement. You want to separate loving yourself from promoting obesity, but the way you present it blurs those lines. Loving yourself at any size is fine, but when you start broadcasting that message to an audience and portraying obesity like it's just another harmless body type, that's not just self-love anymore. That's influencing. And when people push back and say this promotes obesity, it's because intentionally or not, it does. You're showing people that there are no consequences, no urgency to change, and that being obese can be treated like it's a perfectly sustainable condition. But obesity leads to many health issues, and ignoring science to protect feelings is dangerous.
I just think that the fact that there are people who see people loving themselves as like a negative thing because their body doesn't look like what you would want your body to look like is crazy. Like, I don't know why people just can't admit that they just hate fat people, because that's the case. If you talk to a fat person who's like, no, I love myself, like I like my body the way that it is, and the only thing that you can say back is that they're promoting obesity, like that's so bizarre that you think that there's something wrong with like loving your body. No fat person is being an influencer to gain weight. I don't care what people say. That's not a thing.
But that's not the point. The danger isn't that people are trying to get fat. The issue is that by glamorizing obesity and shielding it from critique, these influencers create a culture where people stop trying to get healthier. If you convince people that every warning about obesity is just FatPhobia, you're encouraging them to stay in a condition that puts their lives at risk. Also, people don't like dishonesty, so when you say you love your body the way it is, I think you're lying. What is there to love about being fat? The accept part I can understand, but love?
When you're fat, mental health is like an interesting thing that's never really taken as seriously as I think it is for other people. Like if a fat person is going through something, no matter what it is, people will automatically like relate it to your weight. I have had so many times where I've been like in therapy and talking about something completely different, and the therapist could be like, well, do you think that it's like linked back to the fact that you're overweight? And I'm just like, is there a lot of trauma that comes from being fat? Absolutely.
This is where accountability gets blurry. The trauma of being obese often comes from the real health problems tied to obesity. A lot of the problems comes from the actual strain your body is under. Acting like weight is just a random feature like hair color or height ignores the fact that it's a modifiable condition, tied heavily to diet and lifestyle. Therapy pointing out that your weight might affect your mental health isn't biased, it's medically sound. Mental health and physical health are connected, whether people like it or not. There is a lot of science how excess body fat influences your brain in terms of inflammation and so on. Being overweight affects your hormones, your energy, your brain, your mobility, so even your confidence.
And I don't think as fat people, all of our like issues have to do with being fat or stem from being fat, but people always think that. When you're fat, you're also not allowed to be in a happy relationship.
Relationships are complicated, and of course fat people can find love, but if someone doesn't want to date someone obese, that doesn't make them evil or shallow. It makes them honest about their preferences. Nobody is saying you're not allowed to be in a happy relationship. The reality is that people have standards, and physical health plays into that whether you want it to or not. If someone doesn't want to date an obese person, just means they value certain things in a partner that obesity doesn't align with. What you seem to want is universal acceptance, and that's just never going to happen. Some people will like you, others won't, and that's true for everyone. It becomes frustrating to listen to because fat acceptance tries to make preference itself into a form of discrimination.
This is something that very much frustrates me for sure. For one, I have a girlfriend and a lot of people will comment on my shit and be like, you only have a girlfriend because a man wouldn't date you, which is so bizarre. Like, I don't want a man. I just feel bad for the plus size girls who are only girl kissers because y'all probably get told all the time that you're only fruity because men wouldn't like you. When in reality, it's men that are saying this to you. And if you think that men are so dateable and amazing, why don't you go date one? Have fun. But also, God forbid you are in a relationship with a skinny man when you're fat. Forget about it. He has a fetish, you're rich, all these terrible things. But again, this always pisses me the fuck off because ugly men are allowed to date the most beautiful women ever. And I'm just like, guys, collectively, we have to stop doing that. We have to stop.
This part is honestly hypocritical. You don't want people to judge fat people for dating who they want, but then you turn around and shame women for dating men you consider ugly. You're doing the exact same thing you accuse others of doing, deciding who is or isn't worthy of love based on appearance. It's almost ironic. Fat acceptance demands unconditional acceptance, but you don't extend the same courtesy to anyone else. This is why people don't take this movement seriously. You don't want equality. You want special treatment and protection from reality. You just can't demand unconditional acceptance for your body type while mocking others. This contradiction exposes how the fat acceptance movement often wants a one-way street. Validation without accountability.
Collectively, we have to stop doing that. We have to stop. If you're a beautiful woman, which you are, please just don't date an ugly man. Please. It gives them too much power, like they genuinely think they rule the world. It's sick. Honestly, as a fat person, keeping track of all the things I feel illegal to do is a full-time job. But also at the same time, I'm gonna keep doing the things. Sorry if me being fat existing makes you uncomfortable, but what can I do?
And here's the bottom line. Nobody is saying fat people can't exist. Nobody is saying you don't deserve to live your life. What we are pushing back on is the idea that obesity is something we should normalize and celebrate. And what can you do? You can take responsibility. You can acknowledge the reality of what obesity does to the body instead of dismissing it as hate. Let's see what the comments say.
Lose weight. It's always the answer. Like, okay, let's say I do lose all this weight, will I no longer be bipolar? Will I no longer be prone to manic depression? Will it bring me great happiness? Will my already existing marriage somehow get even better because I'm skinny?
Yes.
We're also not allowed to say we want food. Everyone always expects us to be on a diet and in a cycle of self-loathing.
I can't wear clothes with food on it, lol.
They don't like it when you call yourself fat either, at least in my experience. I've had people essentially bully me without ever calling me fat, then when I say it they're like, no, don't call yourself fat. Like,
when you use fat as a descriptive, not to talk down on yourself, and they go, no, don't say that, you're so pretty. Yes? I never said I wasn't. I was just describing my body. You can be fat and pretty at the same time.
I was talking about my boyfriend and someone said, I feel sorry for him, like.
Or when someone is attracted to you, everyone just assumes that they're a chubby chaser and fetishizing you. Like no one could ever just find us attractive?
My coworkers all assumed I was lying when I told them I was getting married.
You're looking from a very tight perspective.
I've recently lost weight and the way I'm treated by strangers now is so weird. Like they talk to me, to my face, with respect. I hate it. When I was fat it was so different.
And that's really the core issue here. Fat acceptance tries to frame obesity as something to be celebrated, when in reality it's something to be overcome. There's a huge difference between loving yourself and lying to yourself.
Hey everyone, we're plus size park hoppers. We range in sizes from 2X to 5X.
I'm gonna stop you right there.
This is what I eat in a day as a beautiful plus-size girly.
This woman is calling my wife my husband because my wife has muscles.
Don't put the pressure on me to be an advocate for all sizes.
Did you know that Southwest Airlines is changing their customer of size policy? Hey everyone, we're plus size park hoppers and we range in sizes from 2X to 5X. Make sure you like this video and follow us for more plus size tips and tricks. We've been getting a ton of questions asking about which airline we use. As Southwest loyalists over the last 10 years, we were definitely surprised to hear about all of the changes coming. If you haven't heard, Southwest is implementing assigned seating, and with that, they're making changes to their customer of size policy. The current policy allows plus size travelers who encroach upon the neighboring seat to purchase an extra seat and get refunded for it after the flight. But unfortunately, as of January 27th, 2026, this policy will be changing. Plus size travelers can still purchase an extra seat, but it will only be refunded if the flight isn't completely full and if both seats are in the same fare class. While it is nice to know that the extra seat could potentially be refunded, the possibility that it wouldn't remove so much of the peace of mind that the previous policy provided. The policy that is unfortunately changing has helped so many plus-size people feel more comfortable about traveling. We can say with certainty that it has given so many people the confidence to travel when they thought that it might not be a possibility. The customer of size policies aren't just for the comfort of plus-size travelers, but for the comfort of everyone. In our several years of flying Southwest, the majority of our flights have been full, so it's hard to imagine that we would be refunded 100% or even most of the time. In a day where flights are already expensive, it's hard to ignore the fact that Southwest planes do tend to have less room overall, are less comfortable, and provide less amenities. Southwest has honestly taken away everything that made them more convenient than other airlines with no added benefits. Ashley and Sarah recently flew JetBlue and they were shocked by how much more comfortable and roomy the standard seats were. Not to mention the free Wi-Fi and the TV screens. For our future trips, we'll be branching out and trying other airlines. And those of us who need an extra seat will split the cost between each other. If there's a chance we're going to be paying for an extra seat, we might as well be doing it in a more comfortable plane with a fun little TV.
How is it unfair to pay for 2 seats if I need 2 seats? You still get refunded if the flight isn't full.
As a big guy myself, I think it's BS that you get refunded for the second seat. I've never once thought I should get treated better or anything because of my size. It's embarrassing, actually.
Shh! Don't be logical. They'll call you hateful and miserable. Are you telling me I can identify as plus size and get 2 seats to myself?
No, there's nothing I can do, but a fucking heart attack can. Or like cardiac arrest. That'll take care of it. Kind of.
Do you believe in the saying, no pain, no gain?
No. I gained 90 pounds with no pain.
Knee pain.
So the back pain comes after.
Reverse, no gain, no pain.
It's always a good idea to lose some weight and build some muscle. At the end of the day, carrying less fat and having more muscle is just better for your health, your confidence, and honestly, your quality of life. Think about it. Being overweight puts extra strain on your heart, your joints, your organs, and it's linked to many health problems. And when you add muscle on top of that, game changer. Muscle doesn't just make you look good, it boosts your everything. It strengthens your bones and makes everyday stuff easier.
This is what I eat in a day as a beautiful plus-size girly.
Why the need to convince? Can we all decide for ourselves? Not denying, but saying that makes you less.
I got a diet root beer with some ice this time. And then I got your build your own Butterburger basket. I got a double patty with ketchup, mustard, and pickles. Measly amount. And I meant to just get 1 piece of cheese. I have 2.
And then just for a little road trip snack, we have some milk chocolate flips. Looks delicious.
Water. Mozzarella sticks. Oriental chicken salad. Yummy. Dressing on the side, bitches. Breadstick.
This is what you get for wanting a snack.
So you never cook?
Who said you're a big woman? I think you look fantastic. More power in your positivity. Make you hungry when watching you devour your goodies.
I'm going to stop you right there. I have absolutely no interest in talking about my weight or discussing weight loss today in this consultation. I came here to talk about my shortness of breath.
Yeah, so we just got the x-rays back and it appears you actually have a broken leg. Yeah, look, I'm going to stop you right there. I actually came to talk to you about why I'm finding it so difficult to walk, and I have no intention of talking about the broken bones in my leg. Yeah, but the broken bones are why you're finding it so difficult to walk. Ugh, you're just like all the other doctors, you fat-phobic, misogynistic prick.
God,
Should have called Uber truck.
I don't blame him.
So losing weight and building muscle doesn't have to be complicated. Step 1. Clean up the diet. Not saying you need to eat chicken and broccoli every day, but cut back on the constant junk food, sodas, and late-night binges. Step 2. Move your body. Cardio helps you burn fat, but resistance training is where the magic happens. Lifting weights, but even body weight exercises at home. And here's the bonus. More muscle means you burn more calories, even while resting.
I don't care if they don't stock a size 4. This always gets thrown at me. Why are you not talking about the size 4s that are no longer being stocked? Why are you only bringing that to my attention when I've started this conversation talking about brands no longer offering plus sizes, stripping back their plus size fashion ranges? Why is it only then do you bring this up? Like, make your own fucking video talking about how brands are not stocking size 4s.
This shows how the fat acceptance movement isn't about fairness or inclusivity, it's one-sided advocacy. You demand empathy, but show zero empathy. It's a selective victim mentality.
Like, make your own fucking video talking about how brands are not stocking size 4s. But don't put the pressure on me to be an advocate for all sizes when you weren't going to advocate for the plus sizes to begin with. Why is it on me to be the bigger person, pun intended, to include all sizes in my advocacy when you were never going to talk about my plus size friends? Why are you trying to undermine my original argument? Why are you trying to be like, why are you not talking about this? Because I'm talking about that. I'm talking about that. Like, make your own fucking video.
Okay, but if brands don't sell your size, it's not discrimination. It's just a demand. Maybe it's worth asking if you're advocating for fairness or just making excuses to avoid personal responsibility.
It's always the thin people who have never in their whole life done anything to advocate for fat people.
So this woman is calling my wife my husband because my wife has muscles. So I'm going to show you a picture of my wife, and then I'm going to show you a picture of Melissa, who's saying that my wife looks like a man. Here's a picture of my wife, who is way out of my league. And let's take a look at Melissa. Okay, and here's the woman that's saying my wife looks like a man.
Now, what did we learn today, Melissa? Today we learned that sometimes it's better if you just shut the fuck up.
What did we learn? We learned Melissa is the man here.
Melissa is just angry because there are fairy tale creatures in his swamp.
You are fat because you don't have hobbies. Bored people eat because they have nothing else to do. Trust me, I can say that because I used to be one of them. And food is the most interesting part of your day, and like your meals are the thing that you look forward to the most. You have a problem. I'm gonna hold your hand. You do have a problem and you need to fix it, and you can fix it. That's the good news. I found that when I was the most bored in my life and had like nothing going on, I turned to food because it gave me a dopamine hit. It was fun to make, it was fun to eat. But once I started adding more things into my life that enriched my life more than the food noise stopped. So this is my sign to you. If you are a boredom eater, please get a hobby. Get a hobby and weight loss will become 10 times easier, I promise.
Go for less fat, more muscle, more energy, better health, and you're going to like what you see in the mirror too. It's always a good idea. The only question is, are you going to keep making excuses? We're reviewing a fat acceptance video. That makes you question whether people are lying.
Being fat feels a lot like being famous.
Famous people have money, influence, and fans. You have cholesterol, joint pain, and movement issues.
Being fat feels a lot like being famous. For example, when you're fat, you feel more comfortable having someone with you when you leave the house, because if someone is with you, then you're less likely to get bullied. And if you do get bullied, then hopefully that person will stand up for you, kind of like a security guard would.
Because people might bully you. As if people are waiting in the streets to bully or attack you. Honestly, that just doesn't reflect reality. Most people don't even notice you. Most people are far too busy with their own lives to care. I don't walk around staring at strangers, and neither do the vast majority of people. If someone is harassed, that's wrong, of course, but framing it like society at large is obsessed with ridiculing you just isn't true. More often, the attention comes from a sense of self-consciousness. People project their own insecurities and assume everyone is watching.
People take pictures and videos of you out in public without your consent and post them on the internet. People assume things about your intelligence, morals, and character, even though they've literally never met you.
You say people assume things about your intelligence, morals, and character, but isn't that exactly what this whole fat acceptance movement does to others? You assume anyone who questions obesity must be hateful or judgmental. But heart disease, diabetes, joint issues are not assumptions but medical facts. Even as stares happen, nobody looks at someone overweight and thinks, I bet she's secretly evil. The only assumption people might make is, okay, this person isn't making the healthiest choices. That's just common sense. If you're pounding down fast food every day, people aren't being judgmental, they're just observant.
People stare, like not just little kids, like grown people will have no problem gawking at you like you're an animal at the zoo. Your accomplishments are downplayed as if you don't deserve them.
The whole my accomplishments get downplayed thing, no, they don't. If you get a PhD or start a business, people respect that, but no one can know that by looking at you.
People treat you very differently than they treat normal people, almost like you're not a real human with feelings. They're very comfortable saying things to you that they would never say to someone that they viewed as a real person. You have to sort of live in this bubble outside of reality. Like, you can't really participate in the same life as a normal person. You can really only cosplay it.
You say, you can't really participate in the same life as a normal person. Well, right there, you admit the truth. Even you call it normal to not be obese. That alone proves the point. Obesity is not the default state of human health. If it was, you wouldn't feel the need to compare your life to normal people. The very language shows deep down you know that being overweight creates barriers, and those barriers come primarily from health limitations.
And when you are trying to be normal, you know that it's all the people around you are thinking about, even your friends and family. And you know that it affects how they treat you.
You say that even family and friends are thinking about your size when you try to, quote-unquote, be normal. But again, that's not about them, that's about you. They just care about your well-being. They're worried about you. Your grandma is telling you to lose weight out of love. It's not FatPhobia.
And you can't even talk about the challenges you face because then people will attack you and tell you that you chose your life and have no right to complain about the negative aspects. I know this sounds very delusional, but it's the best way I can explain it.
You say people tell you that you, quote, chose your life. And here's where accountability comes in. Nobody is born destined to be obese. Lifestyle choices play a massive role. Diet, exercise, discipline. Of course, there are genetic factors, but for the majority, weight gain comes from habits, and habits can change. Saying it's all outside your control only traps you in a victim mindset. Let's see what the comments say.
I've been fat most of my life and this hasn't been my experience, but I'm so sorry it's been yours. Also, though, cute shirt, where did you get it?
Well said. My exact sentiment. Not my experience, and I've been mid-300s for my adult life, but I'm so sad it is her experience.
1000% true. I was dressed up for a wedding, and as I'm walking to the church door, a car goes by and everyone in it mooed at me.
We are reviewing body positivity activist reviewing a viral TikTok about plus-size dating.
I'm a little late to this one, but let's talk about Coffee Date Gate. For those who don't know what I'm referring to, this woman got on here, she was black, she was plus size, and she talked about how she said no to somebody who asked her out for a coffee date.
Let's watch the video she's referring to.
A man asked me for coffee today after work, and I politely told him no, and then brought myself to McAllister's, where I got this croissant, this grilled chicken sandwich, and an entire bowl of broccoli cheddar soup and a Dr. Pepper for under $25. Now, I'm not going to argue with you about how you like to date, just like I don't want you to argue with me about how I like to date. But coffee is never going to be an option for me. And just like I respect your choice to coffee, respect mine to not coffee.
And of course, I'm sure you can guess what the comments were saying. Basically, like, where do you get off saying no to this thing and having a standard when you look like that? When you are not desirable, so presumably you shouldn't have a lot of options, so then why are you saying no to the options that you do have?
But that wasn't the point. Her point was that she does not accept coffee, but want a restaurant. So maybe the internet's reaction wasn't hate. People just pointed out that standards are a two-way street. If you demand high standards from others while ignoring your own health and presentation, don't act shocked when everyone says it's hypocrisy. She also didn't just say, no thanks. She posted it online, making a public performance of her rejection. This wasn't just about having standards. Anyhow, you argue that rejecting a date means you value yourself, but someone can also say that value comes from effort, not entitlement. The reason people scoffed at this woman's no is because she represents a cultural moment where people who have done nothing to improve their situation still demand premium outcomes. If you're 100 pounds overweight, struggling with health, and still insisting that no man is good enough for a coffee date and demand a restaurant may be arrogance. Also, people were mad at the weird backhanded flex, rejecting the offer, then immediately posting a TikTok showing off her solo meal like it was a victory lap. The backlash is because she declared a coffee date beneath her. Coffee is literally the most neutral, least creepy, least demanding first date you could possibly have. No expectations, no expensive bill, just conversation.
And what I think is so fascinating about this is it presupposes that anything is better than nothing, that any date, any relationship, any man is better than being single. And I just think, are we not at a place in 2025 where we all don't realize that, like, any man is not better than no man? Hello? It's just so wild. But the thing is, when any man isn't better than no man, and this is the entire principle of like the 4B movement, or like any, women are dropping out of dating article or whatever. The entire premise is that, like, we see how badly a bad relationship can go. There is no benefit to being in a relationship that you're not excited about with a person who does not treat you well.
This whole being single is better than a bad relationship is a false shield. Of course, nobody is saying you should jump into an abusive relationship. What critics are pointing out is that women who are statistically least desirable in dating markets often have the loudest demands.
And even if you are at the bottom of the totem pole, if these things did work as one-to-one desirability hierarchy, as many of these commenters think, or at least think they should, that's a whole other discussion. The thing is, even if you are, and I would say I probably am, the lowest of the low, the bottom of the garbage can of dating, and you don't deserve anything, and no one's ever going to want you, so if somebody wants you for anything, you should say yes.
The melodramatic self-drag. I'm the lowest of the low, the garbage can of dating. What does that have to do with the woman's grilled chicken sandwich? Absolutely nothing. She didn't cry about desirability politics. This was all projection from you. Instead of addressing the actual point, I prefer real meals over coffee. You made it about yourself.
No one's ever going to want you, so if somebody wants you for anything, you should say yes. When you don't need that, and the only reason you would need that at this point is for emotional reasons. Because, like, what, you need a provider? Like, the bottom of the barrel men can't provide. Like, you want someone to pay for your life? They can't pay for your life. You want someone to have good sex with? They're not going to make you come. It's what do they have to offer that you cannot do yourself? You can do all those things yourself. So
again, who is talking about that? Neither the comments went to that topic. She wasn't ranting about bottom of the barrel men. She was saying, if you're asking me out, put in the effort to take me to a proper restaurant. It was all about I want food, not coffee, but also relationships aren't charity work. Someone can say that if you refuse to improve your health, your looks, or your mindset, you shouldn't turn around and insult the only men who are even showing up. No charity work, but also not transactions. This is a transactional view of relationships that completely eliminates love, companionship, building a family, mutual support, etc.
You can do all those things yourself. So it just becomes, even if you are the most abjectly disgusting loser, who can't get a date, okay. And so you really do start to think, when you grow up being told you can't get a date, no one's ever going to want you, you really start to be like, okay, what else is there? And then when somebody does want you, but it's like a type of attention that feels gross or dehumanizing or just not up to your standards, you're just not interested. This woman just doesn't like coffee. That's allowed. You know what I mean? You can say no.
So the defense boils down to she just doesn't like coffee. We're really supposed to believe this whole viral saga isn't about entitlement, but about beverage preference? And if this was true, why lecture the internet about hierarchy, oppression, and desirability politics?
You can say no. And maybe it does mean you'll be alone, but when you have in your head that being alone isn't the worst thing to happen to you, then it's no skin off your back to say no. Like, you know what I mean? It's just so wild that this discourse is still assuming that in the year of our Lord 2025, our Lord, the year of fucking Satan, I don't even know, but like, is really any relationship for a heterosexual woman better than no relationship?
Is any relationship better than no relationship? Of course not. But also no one's arguing that. People are just pointing out that if you want companionship, you can't treat harmless offers like coffee as insults.
If I don't have the perfect person, I'm not getting in a relationship at all, period. Because why would I need to? There's no reason. And they're trying to take that away from you right now. So, I don't know, just as a bottom of the barrel ugly who doesn't get male attention very much, when I do and it feels gross, I'm not going to take it, because that's also conceding that I'm the bottom of the barrel, and I may be the bottom of the barrel in looks, but like, I think I'm a cool person. I'm not going to concede that. I'm not going to be like, well, you know, I'm really smart and I have a master's degree and I have a lot to offer the world, but because I'm ugly, I should settle for a man I don't like. No! I'm sorry. No!
By repeating that you are ugly, you are baiting for more comments. Okay. But why are you inventing an imaginary battle? An argument can be made that you are asking a man to overlook a major physical preference, a preference that often correlates with serious health issues like heart disease, diabetes, and joint problems, while you yourself are unwilling to overlook a trivial preference like the venue of a first date.
No! I'm sorry. No! Even if I'm ugly because my personality trait of like being too indulgent with food or something, like even if it's like something that's like supposedly a negative personality trait that keeps me ugly, even if it's that, I don't deserve to be miserable, because any relationship is not better than no relationship. I'm sorry. You just want people that you think you're better than to have to be miserable so you can feel better than them.
No. What people want is accuracy. If you're going to respond to a video, actually respond to the video. Don't twist it into a speech about being bottom of the barrel ugly when the original point was clear. I know that I should also be addressing the comments she received to be accurate, but I did not see too many negative ones. We'll check them later together.
I mean, isn't the thing they always threaten us with, you're gonna end up single? And if I'm truly the bottom of the barrel, no one's gonna want me, and one person finally does, and the alternative, if I don't go for them, is ending up single, then like, why are you so invested in me taking that option versus the thing that you think is terrible, when I can clearly tell that you are just invested in people you think are lower tier acting their tier? Like, if I act my tier, is that not just staying single? But no, you want people to be desperate. You want them to be single against their will. You want them to be sad and miserable and lacking and wanting the thing that you probably have or have a better chance at getting. So again, you can feel better and reaffirm your place above them in the hierarchy. With any dating standard, if you're eliminating like a large swath of the population, then yeah, you're eliminating a lot of people and you're gonna have fewer options. But I get it. I get it if you don't want to be with somebody who has no money. You are eliminating the vast majority of people, but like, go off. It's the same thing as like, I can't be with someone under 6'2". Okay. It's almost everyone. Enjoy. But like, if you want to do that, you are entitled to. If I want to say I only want to be with people who treat me well, and that eliminates all but 0.0000001% of men because I'm so ugly, okay. I'm sorry. Any man is not better than no man in a world where I can have my own credit card.
I completely agree with her main point that any relationship is not better than no relationship, but I dislike the twisting of the topic. I also feel negative about the original TikToker's video. What do you think? Bottom line, the original video was about restaurants versus coffee shops. That's it. She hijacked it, ignored the actual point, and made it all about her insecurities. And that's the problem with so much of this online discourse. People don't actually listen. They just use whatever clip is trending as a launchpad to vent about their own issues.
It's so interesting because this debate is people saying you want too much more than coffee or you don't think highly enough of yourself okay with coffee. Like truly you can't win. Personally, coffee is fine by me because I'd rather not try to entertain myself through a dinner with a boring man. A 30 minutes coffee is fine.
If anything, a plus-size woman should have even higher standards to weed out the ones who don't rate her. Being unattractive doesn't mean that she has to let someone mistreat her.
You ain't ugly, and that black lady who said no to coffee is a successful model.
According to a lot of people and societal beauty standards, we both are. Otherwise, her comment section wouldn't have looked like that.
Let's see how the comment section looked like.
Am I the only one who actually would love a coffee date?
It's an age thing. I used to think like this.
If I want coffee, I have a coffee maker at home, just saying.
How many no's you think you have left? Some jokes just write themselves.
No argument. Perhaps a different perspective. First time meeting someone, grabbing a coffee and a quick chat, it's safe. You don't have to get coffee. Most coffee places have other alternative beverages. You can go to place that serves smoothies, ice cream, etc. Also, these type places allows for quick exit if needed. Also, these quick meetings you don't have a lot of time invested if the guy turns out to be a creep. Food for thought.
This is just one example of how your health is political.
Okay, right out of the gate, your health is political. This is the classic fat acceptance move. Take an individual health challenge and turn it into an oppression narrative. Even if politics affect resources, using that as a shield against personal responsibility is wild. It's dangerous.
So I was attacked by Jillian Michaels, not physically, on YouTube. Because for reasons unbeknownst to me, YouTube felt it necessary to surface me not only content of Jillian Michaels, but her YouTube channel. God only knows why, because let it be known, YouTube, I don't want to watch Jillian Michaels' content. Somehow worked out that we're both personal trainers that happen to be lesbians and thought we had similar interests. We do not. Regretfully dove headfirst into a Jillian Michaels hole. Don't recommend anyone go there. What this allowed me to do was see clear as day how our health has been politicized. Jillian Michaels continues, and I believe, as always, blamed individuals rather than pointing the finger at policies and systemic barriers.
95% of the people who lose a large amount of weight in the world gain it back, and on Biggest Loser we had a 35% success rate, so that's huge. How could I combat it? Well, the first thing was helping them understand that while they were a victim, there's no question you went through hell. I validate this for you. You were a victim, but now you are perpetuating this cycle with choices that you're making because this food is providing you something and you're going to need to get real with what it is. You are, in fact, overweight because you want to be overweight, whether it's because you want to desexualize, because you want to connect to your mother, because you want to reject the parents that rejected you. It's a choice you're making.
And here's where the activist completely misreads the room. Jillian isn't denying that people have had hard lives. I am not very familiar with Jillian's work, but she literally says, "You've been through hell." But after that, she says it's time to take the wheel. Pretending weight gain is purely about systemic forces erases the fact that millions of people in the same situations make different choices and get healthier. That's reality. And if you can't talk about choice without being accused of blaming the victim, then how do you ever help anyone change?
What Jillian Michaels ignores here with this oversimplification is that over 13 million Americans live in a food desert, aka a food apartheid, places where there is limited or no access to fresh and affordable food.
She mentions the food desert argument in many of her videos. Even if this is true, even if you really are in an area with limited fresh produce, that still doesn't mean weight loss is impossible. You can always start by eating less overall, regardless of what's available. That's free, it's immediate, and it works anywhere. From there, you can build on that progress. Maybe you find one decent market in the area. Maybe you make small swaps over time. But the first step simply requires deciding to take control, not waiting for perfect conditions.
Many low-income neighborhoods have on average 25% fewer supermarkets than their more affluent counterparts. 25%! Why do you point the finger at that, Jillian? Lest we forget, Jillian Michaels has gone from shouting in people's faces on The Biggest Loser to now going into the White House. Perfectly honest, she's not asking questions to help you or I. In my opinion, Jillian Michaels is more so using wellness, her platform and her privilege to stir up fear and mistrust. P.S. I flipping love any type of jalapeno artichoke dip. I'm sure Jillian Michaels would tell me that this was poisonous and it's going to kill me, but I can tell you right now, this is not poisonous. It's absolutely delicious.
Now she mocks Jillian for daring to point out personal responsibility, acting as if any suggestion that choices matter is some cruel, outdated view. But pretending that choices don't matter or that overeating is purely a symptom of systemic injustice is insane.
She mentally, physically, and emotionally abused these participants, additionally providing caffeine supplements to them. She perpetuated the very abuse she claims was compassionate. Half those contestants gained their weight back. The fitness industry is disgusted with her.
Dieting is not correlated with weight loss.
Well, yeah, fat's a choice, fat consequences, woo!
You need to lose weight. You'd be so pretty if you lost weight. No.
I need you to start wrapping your head around the idea that people can pursue fitness without a weight loss goal.
I'm fat because I drink too much red wine and I don't exercise enough.
That's not true. You're not fat because of what you eat and how much exercise you do.
If you think fat people talk about weight a lot, then you haven't been around or lived with people who are fatphobic.
Body positivity wouldn't exist as we know it today if it weren't for fat liberationists, if it weren't for the work of queer, fat, disabled, black activists.
Fat acceptance, the only movement that requires no movement at all.
For the millionth fucking time, existing as a fat person is not promoting obesity. Loving your body and being confident about your body is also not promoting obesity. So fuck off, bitch.